What up, y'all? It's Dragonfruit Dude. And today we are going to build a greenhouse for the dragon fruit so they will survive the winter. Because before, if you take a look here, you can see that I got a lot of damage, a lot of rot, and I want to avoid that catastrophe this time. So we're going to protect one from the rain and two from the cold. So we need rain protection and then some sort of insulating capability of this greenhouse. So let me show you what the ingredients are we have for this greenhouse. Okay, what we have are 4 10-foot lengths of 1/2-inch rebar, and this 1/2-inch rebar 10 feet long, and that is going to be the stake in the ground, and these PVC pipes will fit over that. These PVC pipes are also 10 feet long and are 1/2 inch in diameter. These are the gray ones, so they're electrical conduit, and they've got this bell shape connect at the end. So we'll use those as the frame of the greenhouse. And then I got a few connector pieces here.
This is our
2
other
T's
delight. So
and 3 90-degree, three
there.
4-way T's to connect things together. I also got this PVC cutter to make my life easier. Hashtag promotion. And lastly, I've also got this drill bit for 10 bucks, and I'll show you what that is about. Next, I'm going to ream the inside of this out so that it slides over the 1/2-inch PVC pipe. Okay, this idea does not work. It just shatters the T connector once I start reaming it, and you can see it even starts biting through the bottom. So right there, it bites through the bottom. So that doesn't work, so I might have to just have the PVC cut instead of using this as a through connector. First thing I'm going to do is cut this rebar, these 10-foot rebar sections, into thirds. So I'm going to have 4 rebar 10-foot long lengths, cut them into thirds each. It'll give me 12 pieces. I only need 10, but in case I want to add a hoop later, I'll have 2 extra. And don't forget ear protection and eye protection. Yeah, first we have to measure out 40-inch lengths. That's 3 1/3 feet. So right here, I'm gonna mark those. That's where I'm gonna cut. And now I'm gonna use this Sawzall with a metal cutting blade to cut these rebar. Switched over to a shorter metal blade because the other one was too long and too floppy for the rebar cutting. Next, I need to cut some of these PVCs down to 5 foot each. Now that we've cut 1 in half, we're going to put that half at the end of this one to make a 15-foot long section. There we go, 15 feet long. Okay, so here's what we've got. I've got a 15-foot long section there. It's a 10-foot plus a 5-foot. And then I have the 15-foot long sections this way, which I'm going to anchor in right about here, and then also in the back, and that'll give me the hoop. So let's start anchoring those in. Okay, we got it about 20 inches into the ground. It was 40 inches long, so now we're 20 inches high, which means 20 inches is in the ground, so 1/2 and 1/2. Okay, we got all 8 stakes in. Now it's time to put these long hoops on each of the stake pairs. This one has a little bit of a lip here, so I won't allow it to go over this PVC. I won't allow it to go over that, so I gotta file that down with this file. There you go, it's filed down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And next I'm gonna put up a cross beam on the top so that if it's windy, it won't wobble, because this is still kind of wobbly. So I'm gonna put a thing on the top, so let's do that. Kaboom, there's the top bar. Let's take a look at how if it's any sturdier. Oh yeah, it's a good amount sturdier here. The whole thing can kind of wobble back and forth, but it's better. So that's pretty good. So let's take a look what it looks like inside if we're gonna come in the end as a door. And it looks like it's a good amount of room. Like I can kind of get through here pretty easily through this here and check on all the dragon fruit. So I like this. I like this size. Now, if you take a look down this side, you can see some of the dragon fruit are outside of the greenhouse. So I'll have to kind of bend those in, but that's as good as I can do. I'm also gonna have to remove these cross beams and maybe plant them in the ground down there. Hey y'all, it's time for episode 2 of the greenhouse building. So today we've got these clips, which will clip the plastic onto the PVC. And we got a big old thing of plastic. So this plastic is 6 mil thick, which looks about this thick. And it is UV resistant, so it's not going to degrade in the sun. It looks like we got a little sheet right there. This is the plastic. This is a big old piece of plastic. And this plastic is 25 feet by 40 feet. So if we look at the greenhouse here, if we look at the greenhouse, it should go 25 feet this way. So I'll have an extra 10 feet on this side. And then 40 feet will go over this way, but I'll cut it in half. So I'll have 20 feet over this way. And if I ever want to make a second layer for insulation, I'll have another 20 feet. So I'm going to basically cut it in half and then see how we can get it settled on there. Let's go for it. Okay, here I've got the 40-foot length laid out. Okay, here's the 20-foot mark. Let's cut it. All right, now we can fold this half up and pack it up for later. There we are, fold it up. Now let's work on this piece and start getting it over the top of that and see how it fits. I should have about 2.5 feet on each side extra, which I'll put maybe some rocks on for now until I make it better. But I'm gonna get it a little more fitted and start putting some clamps on. Let's clamp it up. And here I was able to find like a crease in this plastic. You can kind of see it along here, this crease. And so I tried to line up the crease with this hoop and then put some clamps on, and then I came back to this first one and kind of readjusted so that the plastic was a little taut. And you can see on the top, it's a little bent in, so I'm gonna have to bend it out a little bit, or tilt it out and then reclamp to get the plastic taut. So let's keep going. All right, we got kind of one side all pinned up, about 5 pins on each of this half, the front half. Down. So the next thing I gotta do is maybe cut a little hole so that it can go around these beams, so I don't have to take the beams on and off. So I'm gonna do that next. All right, so we're crawling around in the greenhouse, and these beams right here in the way, I was planning on unscrewing them, but I'm just gonna cut this, make a slice down the whole thing and let it fall down and then duct tape it up. Just going the lazy route. So let's start doing that. It's hot in here. right, I've got a little bit too much on this side, so I'm gonna start pushing it over and getting it down the back to clean it up a little bit. You can see I've cut some slices here over these posts so it looks a little cleaner. So let's get to moving this over. Okay, this is about what I want. Maybe like 2 feet on this side. I'll clip those to the side, and then I'll maybe put a long piece of wood here and wrap the plastic around it to keep it on the ground. So I'm gonna start clipping up these again. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 clips on this one. I'm starting to roll up these pieces, roll up these back there. I'm gonna go in now and duct tape up some of the strips. For example, I'm gonna duct tape up, this cut I made to get around that beam. Duct tape that up. And look at this while I'm down here. Look at it. Look at all these roots, man. It's a lot of roots. Going root crazy on this one. I'm not getting too crazy with this, just kind of some duct tape clamps, not really going all the way up and down, but we'll see if that bites me in the end. Okay, time to tape this second seam up with duct tape. Okay, we got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the third one, so we got one more to go right here. Let's do that. All right, here we go. This is the end for today. Got an open side here. Curled this back up so that wind can get through and not blow up my creation. And then we got this side over here all pinned up. You can see right here, pin, pin, pin. So that's good enough for today. I'll make some doors on these later with zippers or something. So we'll see if this survives the night. And for now, I put just a big metal pipe on here to keep this side down until I get some wood there. All right.